2 timeouts to be able to stop it 3 times.
Underneath again, it's Zach Ertz. Stopped by Wanye Thomas. To the 10 he goes. Only his second catch of the day. 1st and goal for Washington.
Remember, if they can score here fast, a touchdown especially, they don't have the onside kick, so this is critical they finish in the red zone.
Hand it off McNichols. He's got room. And Jeremy McNichols dancing to the outside to the 4.
Now Dallas gets a chance to kind of reset. Micah Parsons now back on the field. See where Mike Zimmer wants to line him up. We've seen him play both edges. We've seen him play inside in a 3 technique, meaning he's lining up on the offensive guard. They can move him around. They're going to try to force a field goal if they can, but I think if I'm Cliff Kingsbury and Dan Quinn, this is touchdown or bust here. No field goals for them.
2nd and goal. He's got one-on-one with McLaurin. Instead, zips it over the middle for a Zach Ertz touchdown. Washington not finished yet. 3:02 left in a 5-point game. And the 2-point conversion coming.
Great job there. Just a great route. Really good anticipation and timing. When Jaden Daniels need to put his best drive together to give his team a chance here late, that's the best we've seen him in the passing game in weeks. And you just have to ask yourself, did it come a little too late in the game? But he was in rhythm. He was attacking downfield, past the yard to gain.
7 for 7 on that drive.
Now this is where I think Dallas is going to take their. I think Dallas took a timeout.
Timeout. Dallas. Their second of the half.
So they've used 2 timeouts in this game. They used one just in kind of a random 3rd down and 9 spot where the play call wasn't clear to everybody. And they used one right here to be sure before the 2-point conversion. Hoping that they don't need one. They don't need to worry about that. Leading by 5 with 3 minutes left.
And we mentioned when Trey Lance came in the game for Dallas, even though the play went for a loss, I said that having a mobile quarterback that you're willing and able to activate as an extra runner and the stress it puts down here. So now on the 2-yard line, Dallas has to understand that if they account for both the quarterback and both the run fits and the quarterback and all the pass receivers, all the eligibles, there's only so many guys to go around. So they've got to be really sure of their assignments, who's responsible for the quarterback, and he can't take his eyes off him, make somebody else beat you.
Eckler's the running back. Leads the way for Daniels. Bounces to the edge and gets 2. 3:02 left. 3-point game. Jaden Daniels scampers in for the 2-point conversion.
That's what I'm saying. You know they're going to put the ball in the hand of their best player. But Wanye Thomas, you see him number 30. He's out here off the screen. He's got to set an edge out here on Eckler and allow Micah Parsons to be the inside-out chase player. You're going to see Micah Parsons, he turns and says, come on, man, set the edge. I'm a free runner. But instead, he jumps inside. That Eckler being able to get the edge there with the block on Thomas in the field, now it just becomes a foot race. And even though Micah Parsons is unblocked, the rest of the defense doesn't do their part. And now we got ourselves a ball game.
So Jaden Daniels' sense of urgency right here puts together his best drive maybe in weeks. 7 out of 7, and then finishes it off with a 2-point conversion.
Now, obviously, there's a lot of time here, 3 minutes, but we mentioned it. After that last extra point to make it an 11-point game, should Mike McCarthy have made it 12, right? Make them have to score 2 touchdowns. Now with 3 ability to stop the clock, 2 timeouts, and the 2-minute warning, they can kick this thing deep.
Line drive to Turpin, and it bounces through his legs. Here he comes. Devontae Turpin spinning 3. Here he goes. Fastest man in the NFL. Devontae Turpin takes it all the way. Touchdown, Dallas. $95 yards and The special teams adventure of a Sunday afternoon continues.
You know, there's something about a bobbled kick that the coverage unit just kind of slow down. They just downshift just a little bit, and that went from looking like an absolute disaster to being a 95-plus yard touchdown. It's just one of the most dynamic players in all of football, and special teams has just been an absolute disaster at times for both teams, and no bigger than that.
I guess the glass half full or glass half empty. If it's half full, it's, well, we've gotten a block kick. We've blocked a punt. If you're Washington, if you're Dallas, oh, well, we got a kick return touchdown.
Yeah, so watch. So he fumbles it, and now everyone just kind of starts checking down, and they just completely lose the leverage integrity of the return of the kickoff unit, and he gets into the open field, and it's over.
You know the move on Madden. He hits a spin button to the outside.
Oh,
done.
my God. I mean, look at that. I mean, Jeremy Reeves, then Jordan McGee, number 58. He just completely gets out of his lane inside, and you see him reach his hand out there, but that's not going to do it against a guy like this.
And so Kevontae Turpin, perennial Pro Bowl return man, adds a kick return touchdown to a season that already has a punt return touchdown. And McCarthy and Rush, yeah, what are we worrying about? Like Turpin back there to calm the nerves a little bit right after Washington had cut it to 3. One UFL product to another here, and Aubrey to kick it away. Touchback. Got a good one coming in America's Game of the Week. Christian McCaffrey going to have to carry even a bigger load, you figure, today. With no Brock Purdy for the Niners, Jordan Love and the Packers ready to host San Francisco. Or an NFC West battle between the Cardinals and the Seahawks in a jam-packed division. Both those games right here on Fox.
Well, now things have suddenly drastically changed now if you're Washington, because even if you are able to get down there and get a quick score, you're completely reliant on recovering the onside kick, which in the NFL this season has been virtually impossible.
Swing pass. Austin Eckler stays in bounds and loses the ball. Kendricks on top of it. Might have gotten ripped away by McLaurin, though.
Yeah, I think it was Jordan Lewis who initially ripped that ball free from Eckler. Deron Bland came in, he was the first one, and then, yeah, I think it's Jordan Lewis. He rips it out, and great effort by Washington to come up with the recovery. Terry McLaurin.
Daniels evades the pressure, now runs. And Jaden Daniels, he has his sights set on the sideline. He'll turn the corner into Dallas territory and kill the clock. Run of 22 yards for Daniels. 2:11 to go, 2 timeouts for the Commanders, plus the 2-minute warning. Does this Dallas defense have enough to get to the finish line in probably its finest effort of the season?
We're going to take a look here at Eric Kendricks. He was having a hard time getting off the field, and then he ended up just kind of taking a knee. Couldn't exactly tell what was wrong.
24 second half points for Dallas. This is on the kick return. Jaden's reaction. If we're not great at lip reading.
Yeah, I think he said, man, what happened there?
Yeah.
I think that's something along those lines. But I mean, I don't blame him. I mean, gosh, you're sitting there, you say, I just had the best drive we've had in weeks. We've come to life. We've made this thing a 3-point game. You still can stop the clock 3 times and get it back and try to either go win or kick a field goal, and then all of a sudden the game completely flips on its head, and he just has to sit on the bench and helplessly watch.
And for Dan Quinn and the Commanders, this is an organization that's tormented them so much the last 2 decades. Figure roles have reversed. Going to maybe have the upper hand this time, but going to need a late miracle. Ertz hurdles out of bounds.
So now, you're Jane Daniels here. You can throw this ball anywhere you want on the field. The 2-minute warning is going to stop the clock regardless, so you can keep those 2 timeouts in your pocket and don't have to force this ball out of bounds.
Second and 5. Flag down. Finds an opening for De'Ami Brown. Brown inside the 20. Down to the 16 he goes. 24 yards. Let's see what the flag is.
Illegal formation. Offense, number 74. Not on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
So penalty wipes away a 24-yard gain there. Dan Quinn against his old club right here. Lante Turpin. Best chance at a big play for the Cowboys. Got his hands on the ball. And a 10-point game out of the 2-minute warning. Over the middle, there's Ertz again. That's first down. So 2 timeouts, 1:50 and counting. Hurries to the line to spike it. And does with 1:44 left.
So now, obviously, for Washington, they're going to come out now and elect to take the field goal. They're trying to keep as much time on the clock as possible. They know they need a 3 and they need a 7. So for the sake of time, they're going to elect to try to get the 3 here and obviously pin all of their hopes on recovering an onside kick.
Isn't this doing it a little early? This guy struggles from out here. 1 for 4 on the year from 50 plus. I mean, I get the strategy, but Seibert's kick is good. Perfect strategy. Great call. What do I know?
No, but you're right. I mean, it's definitely something that coaches in those situations, they really go back and forth and debate, is this our best opportunity to get the touchdown? Either way, we're probably going to get the ball back only if we recover the onside kick. So it's hard. Now they got a shot. Let's see if they can dial up something here. It's been a special teams wonderland today, so it'd be very fitting if this game had an onside kick recovery somehow mixed in.
Well, it took this one a little while to get going, but it's picked up. 27-20. It was 3-3 at halftime. It's not been the prettiest second half, but it certainly has had a lot to talk about. And a lot to write about tomorrow. Tomorrow, coverage of this game. Cowboys hoping that they're a minute 40 away from snapping this 5-game skid, while Jaden Daniels and the Commanders are staring down the barrel of a 3rd consecutive loss in a tight playoff race right at the edge of the playoff picture in the NFC. Certainly way ahead of expectations no matter how this game falls. They still have their sights set on the division. A couple games back of Philadelphia, who will play later tonight against the Rams. So here we go, the onside kick coming from Austin Seibert. Goes to the left, and Tolbert's on top of it. So with 1:39, the Cowboys take over. Washington can stop it twice. Only 2 successful onside kicks in the entire league this year. Cooper Rush, one of the many headlines of this game, how efficient he's played it. 24 for 32, 247, 2 touchdowns, no picks. I mean, you take that from any quarterback. You take that from your franchise quarterback, let alone a guy who's been plugged into a tough spot as a backup.
All right, so now, but keep an eye on this here now. With them having 2 timeouts left, it's not necessarily over. It's not at the point where they can kneel it out. They're going to try to take away as many seconds per play. Dan Quinn's going to be able to use timeouts after 1st and 2nd down, and then he'll be able to run it down 40 seconds and try to at least maybe to try to block a punt or just keep their hopes alive. So it goes back to why he elected with 1:40 plus to kick the field goal, and at least gives them a prayer theoretically of getting the ball back.
So there's the second timeout used. Here's standings in the East we're talking about. Game back in the win column, 2 games back in the loss column of Philadelphia after they fell to the Eagles last week. They'll face them again weekend before Christmas. Eagles in LA taking on the Rams tonight. So that's the second timeout used by Dan Quinn. The first one was used in a failed challenge.
Yeah, it's worth noting. This game looks entirely different if you've got 3 timeouts in your back pocket as opposed to just 2. I mean, that's 40 seconds on the play clock every time.
Second down, fake to Dowdle in Rush's hands.
Got to take the sack. Just take the sack.
And he smartly will. Payne gets credit for it.
Yeah, smart. And I like the aggressive play call. Field position here is not really much of a factor. Now Dan Quinn will take his second timeout.
Washington, their third and final.
Boy, oh boy, what's this going to look like? Key play package. There have been all kinds of wacky plays in this game. An interception that led to a field goal. Second takeaway of the game right there for a team that has struggled to get him this year. Turn those into points. And just when it looked like Washington was maybe set to turn the tide, Cavante Turpin took off. 95-yard kick return for a touchdown. With a field goal, Washington back to within a score. Third down and 18. One play away here from getting the ball back. And Washington fans know about a little something about late game miracles. Had the Hail Mary a few weeks back in the win over the Bears. Hoping for another dose of magic.
This clock cannot be stopped. Hand off. Keep it running.
Dowdle to the 49. And the punt team comes out.
Yeah, so we'll go back, though. The second down decision, yes, it was a big take. He took big loss yardage there, Cooper Rush, but smart play. The field position didn't really matter. If you pop a play action and you pick up a first down, the game's all but over. But really smart by Cooper Rush. Just simply take the sack, force Dan Quinn to take that last time out. Now Dallas is going to let this thing run all the way down. Mike McCarthy has the option of taking it all the way down to 1 second on the play clock and take a timeout, or just elect to snap it and keep the clock moving.
They've had one block today. And they'll let it run.
Yeah, so he takes the delay. I mean, again, the field position here right around midfield is not a huge factor.
Offense, number 5. That penalty is declined. Fourth down.
All right, so 39 seconds. They bleed out every second that they can, and now we'll punt it. Brian Anger. Olamide Zaccheaus back to return for Washington. And boy, they're at least going to have a shot here. Down 7, 40 seconds left. Here they come. Got a good rush. Anger gets it off. Fair catch from Zaccheaus. 34 seconds down to 33 seconds. Can Jaden Daniels spin another miracle here?
All right, well, as far as end of game clock management, it's about as well as can be expected if you're Dan Quinn. The one obviously clear mistake was the failed challenge, or else this looks entirely different. But this is what this Dallas Cowboys defense is built for. We've talked a lot about that formula, and it's been broken over this past season, but rush the passer, a sack ends the game, tackle them in bounds. They're made to play in these styles. Now they can just unleash at the quarterback.
Half a minute, no timeouts. Daniels throws down the sideline for Terry McLaurin. McLaurin is loose. Lightning strikes twice in Washington.
My gosh.
86 yards.
They dropped 11 guys in coverage. If they just tackle him in bounds, the game is over. I don't even know what to say. I'm absolutely speechless. And before anyone on Washington gets too fired up, remember, we've seen a missed PAT already.
Yeah, you hold your breath with anything special teams related on this day.
This is unbelievable.
Seibert's got to have butterflies here for the tie. Low snap. It is no good. And the worst special teams day in history has a fitting finish.
I'm not even sure what we just watched. The improbability of all of this happening for this finish to be possible, but it starts with a bad snap. It's low. Wade does a good job getting it down, and
Austin Seibert had not missed an extra point all year. He misses 2 today. And all the twists and the turns of this game end with this. After an 86-yard miracle to Terry McLaurin, a missed extra point and a missed opportunity for Dan Quinn and the Commanders.
You know, again, I'm sitting here and I have the luxury of hindsight. And again, if you knew he was going to miss, you'd say, oh my gosh, you should go for 2. But and I understand you just have an emotional play. Guys are running all over the place. Just play it safe and kick the extra point, play for overtime. But what a disaster. Yeah, so let's go back to the touchdown. Watch Josh Butler and Jordan Lewis. Jordan Lewis just has to get more depth. Then Butler can't make the tackle, and then he's just off to the races. Just a complete and utter breakdown. They're worried so much about defending the sideline that they forget to just tackle him. They got to go 30. They got to go in 30 seconds. They got to go the length of the field for a touchdown. Just it's unbelievable. And then obviously we've talked a lot about the special teams of the day, and just been Shank. This field goal, miss extra point, now another missed extra point. Now we got another onside kick. That'd be the only thing that'd make this any crazier is if they somehow recovered this. Last time he went to the left.
He goes straight ahead this time, and it's picked up, and that'll put the nail in the coffin. End-to-end Wanye Thomas. Although you can make a pretty good argument he should have went down.
He should have. And Bones Fossils on the sideline kind of shaking his head, but I get it. I mean, you catch a one-hopper and you got a chance to take it the distance. You'd love to see him just slide, take a knee, and the game's over. Now you have to go back out and play defense. And I don't want to say in an 8-point game because I don't want to be responsible for any jinxes.
What a circus. And another special teams play. I mean, the bingo card is full, Greg. Like, we are winning this game of special teams bingo, big money.
And the best thing Thomas did is he knew if I get across that yard line, they can't hit me within 10 yards. So he's got a clean recovery and takes it to the house.
The extra point is good. Hey, you ready for another special teams play?
I don't even know what.
Oh, my gosh.
I'll tell you what, if you're Cliff Kingsbury, I'm not sure if you have many more. I mean, look at the fourth quarter. I mean, just an absolute circus in a game where we couldn't find a touchdown.
41 points in this fourth quarter.
So good.
And still not over. 14 seconds.
You're Cliff Kingsbury, you're looking down at your play sheet. You're like, I've kind of wasted all my miraculous end of games. I'm 2 for 2. I don't know if anybody in the history of the NFL has a third call to try to score, but we'll see what happens.
No, usually that section that says miracle, that's two play calls there.
Yeah,
they've had 2 of them.
Yeah, and you use 2 in your career.
Right.
He's had to use 2 in a couple weeks.
Beat the Bears. Hail Mary a little less than a month ago. Looked like they had another miracle to get this into overtime, but a missed extra point. Now they're set to get the ball back after Thomas returns the onside kick. If Thomas just lays down, the game's over. Eckler's going to bring it out. He wants to put his name in this special teams crazy game and crunches acrosses the 35. And the ball came out, and Eckler is down.
Yeah, Eckler took a big shot, and immediately everybody started calling for the sideline.
And for those of you in the home markets of our late games, in a moment, you'll be leaving this game. We'll be switching you to the start of your game. And they're going to come out and take a look at Eckler here. Francisco and Green Bay, or Arizona and Seattle. This, by the way, the first game in NFL history to have 2 missed PATs, 2 kick return touchdowns, a blocked punt. So to our point about the special teams bingo card being full like it never has been.
We are here for it. You would have told us we were here for a historical day. I'm not sure if that was the angle we were looking for. But
we've seen history, Greg. Been a part of it.
All right, so I said this the last time.
Yeah.
Dallas should be good in these situations playing the pass, but what do I know?
2 rules. Don't let anybody behind you, and don't wave to the fans.
Yeah, exactly. But you can see they're not going to give up. So they've learned their lesson. We've got press and press. They are not going to give a simple out route in this coverage like we saw Chicago do.
Daniels steps up, and there is 7 yards to Ertz. 4 seconds. So does Evo come here?
Yeah, I think we got no shot. I mean, you're right on the border with the drop. He's going to have to throw this thing 60 plus. That's a 65-yard plus from the top of his drop. Not sure if he could get it there.
You're going right. You're going right.
Team's been playing since 1960. 41 points in this 4th quarter, the most ever in a single quarter. So here we go. Last breath for Daniels and the Commanders. Dances around, buys some time, lets it fly towards the end zone. Going to fall a little bit short this time. It's picked off, and the game is over. Intercepted by Israel Mukuamu. And this thrill ride, this crazy ride, finishes with the Cowboys ending their 5-game skid. 34-26 the final.